Hello everyone, my name is Rebecca and welcome to my kitchen. This is probably your first time watching one of my videos, unless you speak French as well as English, because my channel is based around presenting classic American recipes in French for a French-speaking audience. But today I am very excited to show you this cake recipe in English, because I can tell you it is pretty much 99% the exact same cake that Portillo's sells. I'm not just saying that to say it. I actually got a piece of the real deal and tasted it side by side with my own. It's that good. If you're not familiar, Portillo's is a Chicago-based chain restaurant that sells hot dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and delicious sides like french fries and onion rings. They also sell some really delicious desserts. This chocolate cake is probably the most famous dessert on their menu, besides perhaps the chocolate cake milkshake, otherwise known as ice cream mixed with an entire slice of chocolate cake. I am a transplant to the Midwest, and I've been living here for the last decade, and I've always found it funny to see that certain restaurants will ship cakes or pizza or even ice cream across the country to people who are missing things they just can't find elsewhere. Portillo's chocolate cake is one of those things. I don't know how you are, but when we used to have parties at work, baby showers, wedding showers, retirement parties, etc., I never chose chocolate cake if there was vanilla or yellow cake available, because I always thought that chocolate cake was too dry. Well, this Portillo's cake is definitely not dry. It's delicious and fudgy and super chocolatey. I made this cake for my son's 5th birthday because he inherited my chocoholic gene. Everyone, even my chocolate blasé husband and my health-conscious mom, loved it. When I searched online for a copycat recipe, I was shocked to find an article stating how easy it was using many prepackaged items. I was skeptical, but I figured if it was a total bust, I'd just drive to Portillo's to get a full chocolate cake or to a nearby store for an ice cream cake to make it up to my son. But we lucked out. This is a great chocolate cake and so much like the original. This cake requires only 6 ingredients because you're using cake mix from a box and prepared frosting. Actually, you only need 5 ingredients if you're feeling really lazy. The ingredients are 1 box of Betty Crocker Devil's Food Cake Mix, 3 eggs. Try to make sure they're at room temperature so they mix together best, 1 cup of ice cold water, 1 cup of mayonnaise, and here's the optional ingredient, 1 teaspoon of instant coffee or instant espresso powder, and finally 2 cans of Betty Crocker chocolate frosting. The base of this cake recipe is Betty Crocker's Devil Food Cake Mix in a box, but you're not making it as written on the box, you're embellishing it. The cake mix calls for 1 1/4 cup water, a 1/2 cup vegetable oil, and 3 eggs. We're using the same 3 raw eggs, but we're replacing the vegetable oil with mayonnaise. It sounds a little weird, sounds a little gross, but mayo is basically an emulsion of oil and eggs. Hence, we're adding a ton of moisture to the cake. So let's get on with the recipe. Preheat your oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Grease 2 9-inch round cake pans. I used parchment paper in addition to Pam spray on the bottom, but that was probably overkill, especially because both pans that I used have removable bottoms. But it was for my little boy's birthday, so I wanted to make sure everything worked out. Great news, we only need 1 bowl for this recipe. I used my KitchenAid stand mixer because it requires a good amount of whipping. In a large bowl, add your cake mix, your eggs, water, and mayonnaise, and the optional 1 teaspoon of instant coffee or espresso powder if you're using it. Mix all of that on low speed for 30 seconds to incorporate, then increase the speed to medium-high and mix for an additional 5 minutes. This 5 minutes of whipping really adds air and volume to the batter. Next, pour the batter evenly into the 2 cake pans. You can measure using a scale, just eyeball it, or alternate using measuring cups like I do to make it as even as possible. Bake your cakes for 30 to 32 minutes. Then do the toothpick test to see if they're done. Insert a toothpick into the middle of each cake, and if it comes out clean without any wet batter sticking to it, it's time to get them out of the oven because they're done. Let your cakes rest in the pans for 5 minutes, then remove them from the pans and let them cool for an additional hour at least on a wire rack. You want them to be completely cool before you frost them. At this point, you can wrap them in plastic wrap and freeze or put them in the fridge to use a little bit later. When your cakes are cooled and ready to frost, place one of them on a plate and spread frosting on top. Remember, you're using the canned Betty Crocker chocolate frosting. As soon as you've gotten that first layer done, place the second cake on top and coat the top and sides with the rest of the frosting. Then you can decorate as you wish. I wound up using almost the entire 2 cans of frosting. I say it's better to be generous than stingy when it comes to this cake. And there you have it. Again, I don't know how many times I can say it. This is a really delicious cake. You can make it for a special occasion or just because it's a Tuesday. Check the description box below for the link to this recipe. I hope you enjoyed this video. I really enjoyed making it. Bon appetit!